Hey folks, Hal here. Hey, want to talk about the biggest challenge people have in the woods, especially the big woods trying to hunt, is navigation. It's the number one, and it's the key to be able to hunt successfully in the big woods. And a compass, of course, you got to have a compass, but maps to go along with your compass is really going to be a key. You know, they're going to show you a lot of things like your terrain features and all that, and also the old trails, logging roads, etc. And I think the way to get these is with Onyx. They've got a great mapping software, and you can download it into your phone as an app, or you can get an SD chip to put into your GPS. They fit most any modern GPS, and that'll cover. You can get them. You can get a chip for any state, or you can when you download the app, what you can do is download, topographical, but also satellite imagery. And that's the one I use the most, because the satellite imagery tells me I can see what kind of trees, if it's softwood trees, hardwood trees, and you can also see logging, different types of cuts. It might be a clear cut or whatever. Very, very helpful for hunting, whether it's deer, moose, or anything you're hunting. But what I like about it is when you're hunting in remote areas, you don't have cell service. So you're basically offline. But if you download ahead of time a certain area, the area you're going to hunt, download it into your phone, and you can bring it up, and it'll show you right where you are, and you can kind of keep track of your positions and all of that. Anyways, excited to tell you about a partnership we formed with Onyx. So go to onyx.com, and we got you a 20% discount. You punch in the promo code BWB, and you're going to get 20% off on your Onyx. All right, get down there and get those apps downloaded and get your chips for your GPS and get ready to hunt.
This is the Big Woods Bucks podcast. Come explore the big woods and timber in North America with your host, Maine master guide and deer tracking expert Hal Blood. Listen to Hal and co-hosts Lee Libby and Joe Cruzy as they unlock the secrets of big woods whitetails. Each episode will provide valuable insights into the tried and true system Hal has used for the last 40 years to scout, locate, and hunt mature big woods bucks. Listen and laugh as the crew discusses Hal's legendary adventures and learn how to apply a lifetime's worth of lessons from the big woods to your own hunting and outdoor adventures.
Welcome to the Big Woods Bucks podcast. I'm your host, Hal Blood, sitting here with Joe Cruzy.
Hello.
And Leon Libby.
Howdy.
We're over in Lee's office today because he's so busy working on things he couldn't break free to come to Jackman, so we're over in Rangeley.
He's so busy, he just got done telling us about his trip to the Caspian.
Couldn't make it.
I got to catch up on shit after my vacation.
Watch your language. This is a family-friendly show.
Yeah.
Poop. I got to catch up on my poop.
Yeah. Chris will be editing that out now.
What's new with you guys? Anything?
Nope.
Did you go to Massachusetts without me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We only went without you because you were too busy.
Well, I must have been too busy to get the phone call because I didn't hear it.
Yeah, you got an personal invite from me and you wouldn't go.
Oh, I don't remember it.
Yeah, too busy working. I told you about that work.
We really didn't call you, Lee. We didn't want you to go. Truth be told.
I've had some pretty nice invites from people online. I do have some friends on Facebook. Never met them, but...
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
You said never met him, right? Not them. One friend?
It's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, once you meet him, then there'll be 1.
Yeah.
The rest will bail. Yeah. So, we had a little window there to try it down there in the Berkshires again, but the conditions weren't that great. They'd had some snow, and then it rained and made a crust, and then it snowed to get some powder on top, and some of it was, you get up in the high elevations, and it was a pretty good amount, so it was a little quieter, but depend what area you went to, there's some of it was hardly any powder, and it was just crunching around on crust, so it wasn't the
I thought
best
it was
of
pretty nice
conditions.
where I went. I mean, it was a little bit loud, but I liked it.
Yeah.
You been down there before? All joking aside,
Nope.
Lee, has anyone ever invited you?
Yeah, but not you guys.
He sounds a little bitter this morning, Hal.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think that's
Yeah.
because he only hunted 5 days here in Maine because he had so much work. Then he complains he can't go to Mass. Yeah, right.
I bet you the invitations crossed in the mail. My invitation to him to hunt Mass and his invitation to me to go up to Gaspé.
Yeah.
Oh,
They-
yeah. Are you still riding that Arctic Cat?
I am.
Yeah, all right. That invite.
Oh, is that
probably
why I
went
don't get the
well.
invite?
I get so tired of pulling on them things. Maybe it's the ride, but you probably, let's try it. We'll try it.
You probably wouldn't have to pull on mine.
All right.
That didn't sound right. Don't you ever pull on mine. Sometimes things just come out,
yeah.
not how you intend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to get my sled unstuck.
No.
I'm a big boy. I do it myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't get to ride much these days.
I do like to ride. The lucky thing about living here in northern Maine is that I can just get caught up around 10 o'clock in the morning and disappear for 4 or 5 hours. And tell them I'm going to look at a job. I got to go look at a job. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, my excuse is always I'm going to check trails. And I
Yeah.
usually check trails and look for sheds.
Yeah. That's a
That's
good
what-
They're on to me, though, because every time I check trails, I come back with a shed.
Yeah. That's what I do with my wife. I got to run out back, check the trail, hon. Be gone 5 hours.
Yeah.
Just kept going.
That almost turned into a bad thing here
Yes, it
recently, you
did.
checking trails, huh?
Yeah, I did. We had a pretty bad scare there 2 days before Christmas. I'd been out back because we had all that snow back in November, and then we had quite a bit of rain and warm weather in December, and it settled it down. And usually I clear my trail out with a brush saw, it grows up with raspberries and stuff there. I didn't get to it this year, so I went out back to knock the raspberries down, and I'd done a little bit, and then another day I went out. I'd been out there a couple hours, and I'd walk down, a few hundred yards with a brush saw and then go get my machine, move it up, and do a few more. And I realized I wasn't going to get the whole thing done, so I said, well, I've had enough. I'll go back and do the rest another day. And so I headed on back, and I pulled up by the garage there and headed for the house. And she hauled out the garage. She was in the garage there. She needed a hand looking for something, so I went in the garage, and we was looking for something that was a color, I guess, for wax melt candle stuff. So anyways, I had the light on, and the light went out. I said, geez, the power went out. It was kind of funny because it wasn't windy, And then the generator come on, and the lights come on, and then they went right back out, and then the generator shut off. And I go, something ain't right. So I started walking over towards it there, and she had a gal upstairs cleaning in the house, and she come out the door, and I could see smoke hanging out in the yard there low. And I'm like, geez, there must be something wrong with the wood stove, It was a low-pressure day, but it seemed like it was too low, So I was walking in, and where the girl had come out, and then I could see some smoke coming out the door a little bit there. So I run in, and I look at the wood stove, and there's nothing wrong there. And I could see black smoke coming out of the kitchen in the basement there. Got that little kitchen thing there, and I stuck my head in there, and it was all the fire up in the wires. The wires were all on fire up in there, and I'm like, holy smoke. So I ran out and thinking I'm going to get the hose going, and I'm in the middle of trying to do that, and it dawned on me the power was out, so I couldn't use the hose, the well pump wouldn't be working. Cost me a few minutes, so I ran back in, grabbed the fire extinguisher off the wall. I have it right there by the wood stove, but by then it was so black with that plastic smoke in there, I couldn't see anything. I ran out, pulled a pin, got a deep breath, and I ran in. And when I went back in to the room, I noticed it. It didn't seem like it was, it was burning, it was on fire, but it didn't seem like it was as bad. Like I thought it should have been worse. And I gave it a few shots with a fire extinguisher, and it all went out. And I'm like, whew. Meanwhile, I hollered to her to call the fire department, and she was on the phone with them. And so anyways, I ran back out, got some fresh air, set the fire extinguisher down just in case it lit back up, and then I went in and I put my sweatshirt over my face, and I went in and started opening the windows in the basement. They're them pretty good-sized casement crankouts, and I got all them open. I'd do one, and I'd run back out, catch a breath, and run in, and I kept peeking in the room and making sure the flames weren't coming. I got them all open, and then I ran upstairs from the outside, and I opened all the doors upstairs and went in and started cranking those windows and went back and checked it, and it was out. And then just then the fire department showed up, and luckily I'd got it out, but we had quite a bit of smoke, and all the power was out. It burnt all my wiring circuits from the entrance panel, ran right across that ceiling in there, and they were all out. All the power was out. So
yeah, it was it was a bad scene. There's no question. If you had not been around,
yeah,
you would have lost your house.
If I decided to stay there, she wouldn't have been able to do anything with that.
No. When I got there a while later, after it was all gone and the fire department was gone, and Hal was in there with Rocky working on electric, and you look like one of those old cartoons, like where Yosemite Sam or someone, the bomb goes off in their face and their turns all black. That's what you look like in there. It was a mess. You could tell you had a battle on your hands there.
Yeah, I was coughing that stuff up the next day. My phlegm there was all black and gray there.
It's good for you.
Yeah. I got quite a bit of that plastic smoke.
Puts a good coating there, protects your lungs.
Yeah.
Teflon.
Yeah.
Keeps
Lungs.
Makes it so you don't get that lung burn in the cold weather.
You'll be good next deer season. Your lungs are going to be back. You'll be all set.
Yeah. It was a fright, though, and it's the only thing I could think of was, that's a cedar log place. I'm like, that thing gets a hold of it. And it's,
oh, yeah.
And my deer head's upstairs. And meanwhile, the dispatch is on there. The 911 gal's on there, and she's asking about where my husband was, and her husband, and he goes, he's in there putting the fire out, trying to put the fire out, and he goes, don't let him go back in. And Deb's going, you don't understand him.
Yeah.
I'm running in and out and all of that. And
it's funny how with social media and everything, how you find out about stuff. But my wife Liz got a text from Jess, who works for us. Oh, did you hear Hal and Deb's house burned? And I'm like, huh? Like, I mean, this is like, it must have just, the fire department was still there. And there was a fire 2 days before in Jackman. I said, nah, she's got her wires crossed. That was another fire. I just talked to Hal a little bit ago. His house is fine. Well, I thought, I had to call Chris and see if there's anything. Well, I tried calling the house first, and there was no answer. And I said, So I called Chris, and we eventually, I think right after I got the phone with him, Deb texted me, and so word travels fast. I guess whoever Jess got her information from heard it on a scanner or something.
Yeah, well, they were sitting at the Northland, a bunch of people, and they got the scanner down there. And
okay. Gotcha. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think that's how the word started getting out or something. But yeah, it was pretty scary. They say you can replace everything, but you can't.
Nope.
I got my whole lifetime of deer heads on the wall. Pretty hard to replace them.
Yeah. Well, that's all I could think about, because we were just there a short time before, the week before or whatever it was, and we were hanging out there. And I was thinking when I first heard, I was like, no, his house isn't burning. Geez, what a shame that would be, with all the deer heads and everything. And then when I found out there was a fire, I immediately thought, well, as bad as it sounded, there's probably smoke damage or something got up in there, but you were lucky with that too.
Yeah, most of it, because I got the windows open, I got most of it from the cellar went out them windows. It was kind of strange how things work, because as soon as I got them windows open, all of a sudden a little breeze come up. It'd been dead calm all day, and it kind of just blew through and kind of drew the stuff out. And then we got a little bit upstairs. We had to have a little bit cleaned up there, but most of it was contained to... Most of it was in that room, and the smoke was everywhere downstairs, and they had to rip out the V-match ceiling in my man cave room there in the beginning when the entryway. But most of it was in that kitchen. But Rocky got us back in order that night, run enough circuits. We spliced in and had power, and we stayed there that night. And then it was 2 days before Christmas. We got through Christmas like that. And then the adjuster come up the day after Christmas, I guess, or something. He might have come the day before Christmas, I guess. And then they got the cleanup crew there up the day after Christmas. And
They do quite a job on that cleanup, it looked like.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job there. They it's kind of funny the way they do that with the smoke and soot they get with these rubber sponges. It kind of takes it all off, and collects it. But there was 4 or 5 of them there for quite a few days. I don't know how many days it was total, but I got to think it was probably 6 or 7 days anyways. They had to paint some of that sealer stuff over the burnt stuff there to keep the smell out. But so anyways, that's it's going back together now. It's all cleaned up, and I'm getting the room redone. It went from a cleanup to now it's a remodeling job in the downstairs kitchen, someplace she never uses, but for some reason it's got to have cabinets in it now and wallpaper and everything.
She just wanted you to have another project. You finished everything up.
Yeah, tile floor, and I get it.
Yep.
So that's it. That's been my excitement, and been very good weather for coyote hunting. There's been crappy snow conditions. We tried it a couple times, but the snow hasn't been that good. But I'm supposed to get it tomorrow, I guess.
You notice Lee's like a 14-year-old girl with his phone over there. He keeps on looking at it and not even paying attention to what you're saying. You know just how quiet he is? He's over there.
I hear. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. You can't interrupt the old man during a story because then he forgets where he was and it starts over.
Yeah.
Did you get the email? We're not allowed to call him old man anymore.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Young fella.
Ed said it's disrespectful.
Yeah. What is it?
Ed.
Something leader. He wants us to call
fearless
him. I
leader.
said no.
Yeah.
Old man works for me.
Yeah, it works for me.
Fearless leader.
Joel likes it too. He wrote back. He likes old man too.
But yeah, if we could just grab your attention for about the next hour, Lee, that would be great.
Yeah.
He's talking to you with sign language, though, Joe.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Can you hear that, Joe? You want me to turn it up?
I didn't get the double bird. I half expected that.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, going back to that trip we did without Lee. It was fun.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed at the was it the Lounsbury Country Cabin?
Something like that. Yeah.
Nice place.
It's a little town north of Pittsfield. There's only a couple of places there to stay, really, right there.
Yeah, it's like this little village of cabins right in the middle of town.
Yeah. There's a lake there. I guess it's a pretty popular place like this in the summer. There's a lake and there's a ski area there, so it's a busy place.
It's way different than I expected, though. It's like these towns are surrounding the mountains that you're hunting, and it's rugged. I was surprised at. I mean, it was nice woods and everything, kind of open.
Yeah,
I'd like to see more softwood, but I mean, it's
pretty similar to the Adirondacks, really, the opener woods. And the problem I see with it is it's not really big enough. Everyone I got on up there this time went right down off into the private land, and you can't do nothing. You just got to turn around and go try to find something else. And so, I mean, you can get them there. You just got to get on the one that's in the right place and the right time and not traveling. And last time I went there a couple of years ago, I didn't have that problem. I only had one that went down off, but most of them seemed to stay up high. But I didn't have very good luck with it this time. And
the biggest problem I had was trying to figure out what a good track was for up there.
Because they all look the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different. It's a different. It's going to be a smaller track, but they have some characteristics are the same. So I liked it because I thought I was alone. I actually bumped into a couple guys there.
That's a good one.
That was kind of funny too. So when I went in there, I went straight uphill trying to just get away from all the houses and stuff and trying to cut a track. And there wasn't a bunch of deer where I was. There was a few. So I finally got into this little pocket and got on a track. It was kind of old and wasn't super fresh, but there was nothing else going on. So I was kind of just half-heartedly following it up, seeing where it would lead. And I sat down next to this blow-down root ball there and had a sandwich. And I was just finishing up. I was looking at my Onyx and stuff, and I look up and I see these two guys coming up on my track. And I was kind of surprised to see anyone up there at all, So they walk over and we introduce and start talking for a few minutes. Nice guys, And they said, geez, we were following this buck track and we were going along And then we saw these boot prints come onto him. They couldn't believe there was another hunter up there that was tracking too. And the kid told me later, he said, when he first saw it, he said, yeah, well, maybe it's Hal Blood. I said, no, it's not Hal. But they listened to the podcast and stuff, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, they were from...
But they recognize you, too. Didn't they say you're Joe?
They asked, I mean, introduced myself, and they said, aren't you on Hal's crew? I said, yeah. Oh, yeah, we listened. So that was kind of funny to bump into someone in the middle of nowhere. And so they went after that one. I saw them later in the day. They didn't catch up to him, but it's just it's tough there because it's so open.
Yeah.
I mean, they can see you from a long way away.
They go across some open hardwoods and they'll go up on a thing there and
you ain't getting to them.
You ain't getting, it's some places you get into these like little bit thicker patches, there is some spruce and fir, but boy, there's a lot of open. The best chance you got, what I can see, is you get some of the places, you get in them like little rolling ridges, little ledgy ridges where it goes up and down, and those are the type of places you could catch one, but boy, other than that, it's a little more difficult.
Huh. Yeah, but Brandon Lane was up there hunting too with a buddy of his, and he shot a buck up there. Nice 6-pointer.
Yeah.
Killed him the day before I got there, I guess.
Yeah, you get that one the first day. I don't know where the heck they was. We all kind of went to those different state forests and just tried different things. And it was kind of funny because that's where you get one of them, the one that was the furthest south had the worst conditions, but it had more deer, but it was like two inches of crusty stuff with barely any powder on it. I mean, it was noisy. And it was so tracked up because that snow had been there for a week, I guess, and they were rooting in the acorns, and I mean, you couldn't follow a track. You had to just circle and try to find a track coming out. So
it is a nice late season option, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not that far away to go run down there, but I'd go again. But it'd be nice if there was some better conditions,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You missed out. But the best part about it, Lee, was the male bonding that we had. I mean, we laughed. Oh, my God, did we have a good time. We were just yucking it up all night long. We went out drinking at night. And yeah. We were lamenting about how great it was not having you around, being quiet and saying nothing.
The only thing about having me around is I will not set in camp if you don't have your pants on. So I know Hal lets you do it, but I won't.
Well, that's why you're not invited.
If you stay in my room, you gotta witness me doing my leg stretches with my tighty whities.
And there ain't nothing tidy about the whities. I mean,
my honey threw them all out. She was tired of the stains in them.
It ain't even stains.
Jesus, Murphy,
there ain't an elastic.
Too much information.
There ain't an elastic left in them Fruit of the Looms.
She bought me some new ones for Christmas. I got some brand new, some special underwear. They're real soft.
Nice.
And they're black.
Oh, there you go.
So you can see me do my leg stretches with my tighty blacks on now.
He asked me to pull down on his knees, like, I just can't get quite the stretch I need. And I'm like, no. Nope. You're on your own, Hal. But
shit.
Wait till I ask you to push me around in a wheel cart there.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that. We'll rig it up so it can go in the woods. We'll get one of those track chairs for you.
Yeah, that would be cool. Not cool, but, I mean, it'd be better than pushing him around. I'll push you around all right, buddy. Right out into Route 4. Whoops.
Yeah.
Hal can feel the love I see on his face.
Yeah. Feel like Rodney Dangerfield here. No respect.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not a new feeling for you. You're used to it by now. So yeah, we're in full on winter mode now. This is going to be our first big weekend coming up here.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I was at a restaurant this morning getting some breakfast sandwiches, and there was one person. An old fella from down the road usually cooks his own breakfast. I said, "You didn't feel like cooking breakfast this morning?" Nope. That was the conversation. Okay.
I was hoping he looked at you and said, "None of your business."
I know. He's a man of few words, but nope.
No, it's really when you really see it in our towns up here when when we don't have the snow this time of year.
Oh, we're dead.
'Cause we
right
got
now.
nothing else.
Dead.
Yeah.
No, 2 weeks ago it wasn't so bad, but
that.
snow deal's coming up for us, so we got that in another week, and
There
good
was-
snow coming now.
Yeah,
so-
there was more snow Thanksgiving week
Yeah.
in November
Yeah.
than there is now. It's a
Oh,
craziest
way
thing.
more. Yeah.
The thing is, though, that people don't understand is I know your trails are good. And our trails are actually pretty decent. We had to go out last night and fix up where some idiot went out there with a pickup truck, and it was surprisingly good what we had to pull around. But there's no snow down south, so they just assume there's no snow up here, and they think you got rain, but what they don't realize is we had a foot of solid ice for a base,
Yeah.
Right.
and you get 2 inches of sleet on top of that, and we can make something out of it,
Yeah.
you know?
That sleet really helped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was packed in good.
But I had 2 inches at the house last night, and then it's spitting snow a little bit today there, and tonight you're supposed to get something good.
6 inches tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
It is amazing how quick social media, like I put a couple of videos up because it's like what you said, they're down there south. They don't think we have anything. And the first time I went out grooming, I really couldn't believe how much snow I was carrying the drag.
Yeah.
Like trails were perfect, like no water holes, nothing. And so it's nice that we can put that out
Right.
pretty quick and show people what we have. And
Yep.
and then a few other guys, like local riders, they put a few posts up how good it was, Jackman Piston Farm,
Yep.
Coburn System, and people are coming. So
Oh, yeah.
You know what
That's
the best
good.
part of it is? It's good for the deer.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
The deer, it's crazy. There's a lot of deer that haven't even come nowhere near town. They're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Because they can. I mean, they're not walking in any snow. They're walking on top of that old crust.
it's like
Yeah.
November for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's craziest thing. We tried to go coyote hunting a couple times, but the snow conditions weren't that good. The first day we went, it warmed up the day before, which is the day we should have went, and then it froze in the night, and it made a little bit of a crust. But the tracks they made in the night in the damp snow were all frozen. There was no scent. We couldn't get one started. We tried 2 or 3 times to get one started, and they couldn't work them out. But we'd got out, nearly 5 miles from town, and there was still deer wandering around out in that country. Keeping them spread out, it helps them. They get feed anywhere they want, and the coyotes don't put as much pressure on them. They can't because they're not bunched up.
Right.
So yeah, it's been good for the deer. And now, it's the middle of January now here. I mean, we almost couldn't have too bad of a winter for the deer now because they're in such good shape.
Don't say that.
I know, but if you do look at the long-range forecast, we got a cold week coming up. Not really cold compared to...
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, remember when it was below zero for 6 weeks?
Yeah.
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 We're supposed to have tomorrow night's like 6 below, then 14 below, and then 6 above at night.
Yeah.
So there's no sieges of cold weather coming.
No, and then next week they're talking, we're going to pour concrete in another week and a half. They're talking about 30s. By the middle of February, they're talking 30s during the day.
Nah, I don't
It's
believe
supposed to
any
be
of that stuff,
warm
yeah.
right through. The
That's not
long
what
range
I've seen.
forecast for March looks like warm.
Lee, they can't tell you what it's going to do in 2 days.
I know, but if you're in my world,
See, I've seen just
that's what you see. You don't look at the low temperature. You look at the high temperature.
I've been looking at that stuff too all the time for the same reason. And the stuff I'm seeing, they're saying it's going to be a long winter right into April.
Can't be any longer than it was the last 2
Yeah.
years. Guys, June before we get going.
Yeah, and it started early. This year, like I said, the deer got such a start on it. I mean, they could lay down and sleep the rest of the winter and still be all right,
2016, remember, there was nothing in March. We weren't even grooming.
Yeah. No, I remember.
It started out like this. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we you're right. That was the year I think we started grooming like January 12th and we were done by the beginning of March.
yeah, never
We
get our
can't have
hours
another
in.
year like that. We can't.
I took a ride up north about a week and a half ago. Thought I'd go up and poke around, look for a moose antler or something, and the roads aren't even plowed hardly up there at all up north.
Really?
I mean, almost nothing's plowed. And the Golden Road had been
They're coming for you.
had been plowed, but then some of it wasn't plowed again. And I got over and I hit the 490 road, and it hadn't been plowed at all since even in November. Put it in four-wheel drive and drove right up the road.
Really?
Drove all the way up towards Baker Lake and could go. There was the new powder we'd got in the road, 5 or 6 inches we had back then, and of course it's rained since then, but it was crazy. There were places you couldn't go back in the end of November. The guys couldn't hunt up there nowhere because you couldn't go, and you could drive anywhere with a pickup. So, yeah, that's good for the deer. It's good for everything, moose, everything.
Yeah, the shed hunting's been tough.
Yeah.
They're not dropping. I mean,
it hasn't been
like
cold enough and stuff for them to drop. I made a half-hearted attempt. I tried a couple of roads, and there weren't even any moose tracks barely in the roads where they usually are, so I put the machine back in the truck and drove back home.
Huh.
Yeah, every bull I see is carrying both, and no big ones. I think we're seeing that gap there where we lost a bunch of calves back 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's less big ones running around, I think. And I think, I don't know whether it's a theory, that, those big ones, I always figured the cold and all that does it too, but those big ones, something's going on, Lee. Boy, the emergency vehicles are all filing by.
It doesn't always take a lot in Rangeley to get these guys out of the firehouse.
But I think that those big ones, part of the reason they come off is because just the size of the leverage. If they're pushing on them and stuff in the road, that leverage is a big difference between a little kind of dinky bull and
and then the weight,
right,
just the weight of them walking around with them. But
you'll see those big ones sometime, and they'll have a big piece of skull still attached to it, where it ripped it out. That's got to be painful. But yeah, so I don't think there's as many big bulls running around, so that's also.
Yeah, I think back in them 3-4 years ago, we had them winners. It was, I think we lost a lot of the big older age bulls because they live longer than the deer, they go maybe 15 years, some of them.
Right.
But we lost a lot of them older bulls, and it takes a while to grow them,
Yep.
They also said, I know the biologist said, which makes sense because they were still having, it's less of a problem with the ticks now, but when they're stressed out so much from the ticks and they lose all that blood in the winter, they might survive it, but then it takes them a long time to get back in shape, so the antler growth suffers from it. It still might be an older bull that if it was in good condition year-round, it would have a bigger rack, but they don't grow them because they're not as healthy as they were back a while ago. Makes sense.
I'm going to get drawn this year for a moose tag.
Are you?
Yep.
Good. Who's going to guide you?
Oh, I was thinking about Jenna or Lorinda.
Yep.
Down the Southern Maine Guide Service.
Perfect. What zone do you have for your first choice?
Hopefully
you're going to one and you're going to go to Hal's secret spot there.
Yeah, one.
Easy.
Yeah, no secrets.
You need
Everybody
permissions.
knows.
You need permission slips now.
Actually, his real secret spot's in 4, but only I know where that is. He hasn't told you yet. He doesn't trust you, he said.
Well, he's smart.
Yep.
I've already had some inquiries about moose. People want to know what zones and stuff. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell you, there was already a couple other people wanting an outfitter tag if you get one this year.
Yep.
It won't be too hard to fill that.
We should know. We should know soon whether we get one again. I guess last year it was a lot easier. There was a lot fewer people in it, and now
everybody got one last year.
Yep.
This year the odds are a little less than 2 to 1.
Right.
Like 2.5 to 1, I think. If everybody applies, there's like 114. I heard 114 applied.
Yep.
I think there was 128 that qualified, so they didn't all put in then.
Maybe I'm just getting my numbers wrong too. Maybe it was 128 and I cut it in half and put the 14 and divided by 2 plus 3. Head's just working, Hal. Just all the time.
Bet is your odds.
Yeah. That's wishful thinking, right?
Yeah.
That's how I am with the temperatures.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Sal here. I want to talk to you about a new partnership we have with Yokohama Tires. And at Big Woods Bucks, we don't take our partnerships lightly. We focus on things that we can use and can believe in and trust. And I've been running a set of the Yokohama Geolander MTs for about a month now. And over the years, we've had a lot of trouble in the woods, with gravel roads, shale roads, and flat tires and stuff. So I tried these tires out on a moose hunt, and they worked fabulous. I had no problems with them, and still testing them. But the thing I like too is I made a trip to New York, and they're for a mud tire. They're extremely quiet on the road. Probably the most quiet ones I've had for an aggressive tread tire, and so going to keep at testing them here. But I think they're going to be the ticket. I've used dozens of different tires over the years, and these look like they're going to be the ticket. So, anyways, the tires are made right here in the USA, down in Virginia. All the light tires, light truck and car tires. There's like 51 sizes available. And they also have a Geolander XAT as a new tire that it's a little less aggressive, like more of an all-season radial. So anyways, check out their website, Yokohama Tire, and see if it's something you can use. Hey, everyone. Hal here. Just want to take a minute to talk about the Woodman Arms muzzleloader. We got them all set on the website to build your own or buy your Big Woods Bucks model, either one you want to do. But anyways, we've tested it a lot, and I can honestly say it's the most accurate muzzleloader on the market, best to carry in the Big Woods or anywhere else at 5.5 pounds. You can't go wrong with it. So get on there and check it out.
So yeah, and there's I think 50 tags or 52 or something like that.
Yeah. But still good. It's better odds than the rest of us have.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm thinking like I might get drawn again. Since it took 33 years, maybe this time it won't.
I'm due.
I'm pulling for Shanzy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, everyone's pulling for Shanzy.
38 years. Never drawn. Him and his wife both been in for 38 years.
If there was ever someone that deserved it, it's him.
Yeah. It's just crazy. That's
all the people he's guided and found moose for, and he can't get a tag himself.
Crazy.
One of the best moose guides out there.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
So he'll get it. It's a matter of time, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's going to be in Jackman this year, too.
Up to Sky Lodge there?
Yeah. Going to be a good place for it.
Where are they going to put everybody?
You mean the people
Lake Partland Lodge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the town will be probably pretty well filled up with people that come up. But they're going to have events all around. I mean, they got a pretty big area there to do most of the stuff, but they were talking about doing some other things. And
So have you guys followed at all the lunar eclipse for 2024?
No.
I could have guessed you haven't been following it. No. That was more directed at Hal.
2020.
He's a little more cerebral.
2024.
What the hell would you want to?
I have to tell.
That's like reading your horoscope.
That's right. We don't even know if Hal's going to be with us in 2024.
Reading your horoscope. If it takes 2 minutes, that's 2 minutes you'll never get back.
Yeah.
No. So,
hey, I have people call for deer hunts in 2021, and I'm like, when?
Yeah. I
can't even think that far out.
All right. So I'll tell you why it's on the radar, because I'm the same way. I would never look ahead that far. The last eclipse we had went over Nashville, the solar eclipse, and a buddy of mine lives down there, and he said it was amazing. Like, people came from all over the world to be in the there's a name for it, but anyway, the path that the solar eclipse goes over, and so wherever it goes directly over, and there's a total eclipse, everyone flocks to that area. They come from everywhere. It's like a major thing. So back last year, I think it was last year, the year before, when it went over Nashville, he said it was amazing. Like it was just really something to see. And he said, I think there's supposed to be another one in a few years, but I'm not sure where it's going. So I went and looked it up, and it's going dead nuts right over between Jackman and Parlin.
No kidding.
In 2024. So.
Oh, you better build some cabins.
So.
Be putting up our wall tents.
I told him that. And he said, "Oh, I'm coming." He said, "It's amazing." He said, "I won't miss it." He said, "I'll be there." And he goes, "You guys better get ready, because there's going to be people from everywhere coming up there." It's April 8th, 2024. So it was we kind of have talked about it, and it's a great time for it, because that's right at the end of season where everything's pretty much dead, but everyone's still kind of going. So it's a good time to have it. And so we had someone call last week or the week before, and because most people aren't really aware of it, and they wanted to book a wedding for April 8th, 2024. They wanted to have their wedding, and thinking that they would kind of slip it in and just be like a normal event. And at first, Liz was like, "Geez, why would someone want to get married?" And then it hit her because we've been talking about that eclipse. So soon after that, the town sent out an email letting all the businesses know that, hey, this is going to be going on. It's going to be a big deal, and there's going to be big events and all kinds of stuff. So it'll be good for town for sure, but no one else can get in on it. The way it comes over. And I don't know if it crosses.
Maybe I should book all the rooms.
Yeah.
And then flip them for 10 times the amount.
Yeah, well, that's good because I'm happy to do that because I'm going to rent them to you for 5 times the amount, and I'll be perfectly happy. Whatever you can get.
So there's not a law against that? Like there's a lunar eclipse, so we're going to get 10 times the amount for a cheeseburger?
We live in America, Lee. It's called capitalism. My God. You voting for Bernie Sanders, too?
Bernie, he's our man.
Feel the burn, Lee. So
him and the Indian ought to get together and jump off a cliff there somewhere.
I thought we weren't going to get political.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk politics.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's why he's been so quiet, because he just wants to talk politics the whole time.
Yeah. He's got things rattling around his mind. I keep watching him there.
I spent some time with some Canadians this weekend, and I call them Frenchmen, and it's all in good fun because they're really good friends of mine, and they are Trump lovers.
Are they?
Oh, they're like, we wish our prime minister would grow a set. Because that plane that came down in Iran, there was 61 Canadians on that thing.
Yeah, and the Iranians shot it down.
They're freaking out. They're like, what are you going to do about it? And he's like, I'm going to get tough with them. No, you're not.
No, he's just blaming Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, for taking out that guy there.
That was a good move. I just saw something I had.
Now, look who's on their phone, 14-year-old girls.
Yeah. He's trying to find the eclipse for you.
Oh, jeez.
He might decide he's got to charge 15 times more.
Well, I was looking to see if it was coming over Rangeley, but apparently it's going to divert around Rangeley.
Yeah, well, we don't need any more people.
I was going to say they figured there's already enough business over here.
April 8th will be when it's just winding down for us. We'll be breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, you were talking about Snowdio there coming up, and we love it when you have Snowdio too, because there's just as many people that run from here.
Yeah.
To get away from the crowd, and they all come over to.
A lot of those, I call them long trackers, and it's not the long track sled, but like them guys and girls that get on their sled at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Looking at being politically correct, saying guys, and girls.
Go to your place for lunch, and I send a ton of people over there, by the way.
You better.
And I tell them if he's too busy, run over to Piston Farms and have lunch. That's a good 250-mile day.
Yep.
But now the new sleds, the way they ride, that's not a big deal.
We're never too busy, Lee. We always get everyone in and out.
Yep.
Within a half hour.
Perfect. I'll tell them that.
Never too busy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good run to go up there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now it used to be you'd run 30 miles and have lunch. And I mean, there's great places to eat. T-Pond, Bose Box, all them places are good. But now if I want to go for a trail ride, I want to stretch her out to 250, That's a good day.
My worst day I guided some guys one time. We left Jackman, and we went to the trains up on Chamberlain.
Yeah.
That's a haul.
350 miles. And I was on my old Scandit 440. You should. I was.
What was the time frame of that?
It was. Because
there was no trails or anything going there then, really.
No,
you had to navigate there.
You had to. Yeah, there was no marked trail. No, you had to know where to go. Which pond to go, because you got to go. Well, you basically, it's easy to get. It's a groomed trail that you get up to Chamberlain, Chesungcook first. And there's a groomed trail there, and we ate lunch, I think, before we kept going. We ate at the lake house there. And then you got to run up Chesungcook, and then you got to cut through the woods. Mm-hmm. Two different ponds, and then you got to run like a logging road in between them, and then you take another some of the trail was it's goat roping in the woods, and I mean, you're running around.
Yeah, single track going through.
Yeah, tree roots and stuff. You just get just enough to get a sled through, and then you get out on Chamberlain and you run that up, and then you got the little thoroughfare. It's a half a mile between Chamberlain and Eagle. So we spent probably an hour up there taking pictures and looking at the trains and doing all that.
Fire trucks are still going by.
And then we hauled it back. We got back in, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night or something. It was,
Go right to sleep.
Oh, that was a long day for me.
First time I went up there, Russ Griffin took us up. He knew his way around up there, So I think we went up to Ross Lake first, spent the night, then came back down that way through by the trains. But it was whiteout conditions, and fortunately, we had GPSs on the sleds because you'd have never come down those lakes without it.
Right.
I mean, I'd never been up in that country before, and even if you had, you can't navigate. Those lakes are huge.
Right.
Coming down them in a bad storm like that. So it was quite a long day. I mean, we left Ross Lake that morning, and it was an all-day trip back by the time we got back down. Yeah.
I took a group to New Hampshire one day. I said, we'll run over for brunch. We got to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire around 10:30 and had lunch, and then I thought I'd take off and do a loop around Pittsburgh over to Errol and then go rope back through. Well, it didn't work out that way. I ended up back in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So then we stretched her out, got fuel, stretched her out. We got just about Palmachini area, and the trail turned, it's 27 miles then back into town, and it had seen probably 3,000 sleds. And every woman in that group was in tears when I hit Rangeley, and I felt so bad. I cooked them all dinner, but that was a tough
Were they
day.
blaming the trail conditions on you?
I wasn't the trail master then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was, I won't do that again. You don't do that on a Saturday.
No.
You do that on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Boy, I hear about it all the time. About how the trail is from New Hampshire over on busy days and getting in and out of town and stuff.
We have counters, on our trails.
Oh, well, we have counters here. Yeah.
I won't
We
tell
have
you.
paint drivers. We have new machines. Yeah.
Well,
Do you know how much we raise in the auction? Yeah. Go ahead, Lee. Tell us about the counters. How many people are traveling?
I don't want to tell you.
I am curious to know, actually.
No, I'll never tell you. It's over 3,000 on an average weekend.
Wow.
In and out of each port. Yeah, can be more than that.
Are they like laser
ridiculous.
counters? They just break the.
It's a beam or whatever, just however it works. But we go out on Monday and Tuesday and count them. Gives us an idea.
So it's all the weekend traffic.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some weekends a lot more than others, but
That's a lot.
and that's just in and out of the towns. That's not, some people never really, they come, they fuel up, then they go unload somewhere. But we get a lot though. That, like I said, now Pittsburgh's not a big run. You're not that big. It's a good run, but it's not a big run, you know. So snowmobiling's changed. Now that 200-mile day that's almost the norm.
Well, I was talking to someone about it the other day how there's a lot more riders now in the area in general. There's just a lot more sleds than there ever used to be, I think.
Right.
It's just with the way news travels and everyone knows where to go and when the conditions are good. And
well, look at what we do with the social media. I mean, after we do this podcast, I got to do my weekly trail report, and 5,000 people will see that in the next 24 hours and make the decision on what they want to do for the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to lie to them, if the trails suck, they'll know because I don't usually say too much. But if the trails are good, I'll let them know, and they can decide what they want to do.
I did think about doing the same type of trail report, just doing like what's the word I'm looking for?
You see, you can't even talk without a camera on.
No. You're right about that.
I don't know if you've ever watched them, but I
watch them all the time.
You and Johnny Morris, the Stratton Eustace Club, I mention you guys a lot.
Yeah.
Bowes Bucks. I like to know. I talk to Johnny quite often about what's going on there because this year we're really kind of pinched up with the logging. Those guys are jumping around quite a lot trying to find different woods that they got to fill market quotas for, and they're just plowing everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of putting a kibosh. I want to see if we can't get a
parody. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to do a parody of yours. See how long it takes sometimes?
Now spell it.
Way to get my age.
Yeah.
I'd think about it on the drive home.
So anyway. So yeah, it's good. Your trail reports, they are good. It's people, although, you know, I'm the same way, you know, like there's always in the past different areas have been known for putting out bad information just to get people there, and you don't want that anyway.
No.
You know, but a lot of times the conditions are way better than what people think.
Right.
And they're sorry they're missing out on it if you don't tell them.
Right.
So, you know, you try to point out the good and bad, but it's
Yeah, and nowadays with that social media, you're only going to lie to them once, maybe twice, and then they're going to have you figured out, and then they'll never believe you, you know, so.
Hey, what do you say we talk about deer hunting or something?
I know, but it ain't deer season.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
Lee and I are having a perfectly good conversation.
So the social media guys, Timmy and, why can't I remember Timmy? Jason wanted to know what we were doing. They want to know what we're doing in the off season. So let's show them what we're doing in the off season. I ain't deer hunting.
Hey guys, Joe here. Wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Lake Parlin Lodge. We're a 4-season lodge located just south of Jackman. We've got cabins, lodge rooms, mini lodge. We're a big snowmobile destination in the winter, full restaurant, bar, all the amenities that you need for your trip. Open all obviously through the summer, right on the lake. Kayaks, canoes, all included with the cabin. We also do a lot of weddings, so if you're looking for a destination wedding, we can do a wedding up to 200 people. And, of course, we've got our hunting season, moose season, deer season. So check us out. We're at lakeparlinlodge.com.
Hey, Hal here. Just want to take a minute to talk about the hunting club. And you can join by going right online at bigwoodsbucks.com. But anyways, I've got all my information is going in there, and it's a place where you can get together and look at my films, tips, writings, and all of that. And the best part is there's forums for you to communicate with, you know, the rest of the club members, talk about Big Woods stuff and all of that. So anyways, $36 a year, cheaper than getting a Starbucks once a day. So join up and hope you see you on there. Yeah, Timmy's gonna come up and film some coyote hunting with the hounds. That ought to be a hoot.
I'd like to take him on a long track, dump him into a valley somewhere in 6 feet of fresh snow and say, film that, buddy. He'd have a great time.
Yeah. He's going to come up pretty quick. Well, we get going. We should probably, after this next snow, and it should be getting the conditions a little better.
We ought to mention where you guys going to be this weekend.
Well, the time they hear this, it's going to be over.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, we're going to Vermont, but any of you guys listening that seen us there, good talking with you.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Oh, I got some news for you, Joe. I forgot to tell you on the way over, but...
All right, well, something to talk about.
Yeah, I'll tell you now. Lee Libby's going to guide a week again this year.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Remember he kept saying...
Hey, I knew you'd cave, you sucker.
And he's going to have the honor of guiding the furthest traveled sport we've ever had.
Where's he coming from?
Was he coming from, Lee?
Australia.
Oh, that was a pretty good accent.
Coming from down under.
He's running from the fire.
Yeah. No, he's not affecting him with the fire, but
No.
he's coming over. He's traveling 10,500 miles to
Hunt with Lee.
to come deer hunting. Yeah.
Sucker. I feel bad for that guy.
I think he's pretty smart. Really.
Yeah. So he wants to learn how to track because he wants to track down some of them samba deer they have over in the mountains over there in Australia. So that'll be
That's
fun.
pretty cool.
I think it'd be very
So
cool.
did he see Lee's video and decide he wanted to hunt with him?
No, he just called Trump and said, who's the best deer guide you know? And he said, Lee Libby up there in Maine.
Lee's pretty full of himself these days, didn't you, Al?
You asked.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I didn't realize you were on a first name basis with Trump.
I think he's a. Oh yeah, I think he's a podcast listener.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
That's how he found us, and we talked about it before. There's people from around the world listening to us. I don't know why.
And they know that you guys pick on me, and they feel bad for me. So
It is. It's probably a sympathy.
Oh, I'm
hunt.
sure. Why else would you want to hunt with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I get quite a few requests, Lee.
Yeah.
But you don't want to step up to the plate, so.
Well, I can't because I can, but I gotta shoot deer. I'm no good if I can't kill, right? They're not gonna hire me if I can't kill deer. The worst question in the whole world: would you shoot this year? Nothing.
Hey, I've gotten pretty good at answering that.
Because
The last 3 years, I've gotten pretty good at that one.
it's so bad if I see somebody on the street that I know is going to ask me how I did this year, I walk the other way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You really care? No.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking
Everyone
forward
gets
to
skunked.
it. I had fun over there this year guiding.
Yeah.
I had a great time this year.
I
guiding.
think I've had a lot of people ask about the American plan because I've been pushing it. I know.
Yeah,
you want
I've got
everybody
quite a
to
few
guide.
booked. I just telling Joe on the way over, we got to look at the lodging for the third week, anyways, because there's quite a few American plan. The guided hunts are booked for second, third week. Thanksgiving week, I've got one opening for a guided hunt, and I think I got 2 openings the first week for a guided hunt. That's going to be it for that. So,
Those will fill up.
oh yeah,
the-
they still getting inquiries about it. And,
How
I mean,
many like? So I really like that American plan because it's kind of fun to sit around at night and talk to them guys, and they get to share their what they did.
Yeah, I had a couple comments about that this year. I sent everybody like an email, and I just wanted to know how they liked everything, and if there was any complaints or anything concerned. Not complaints necessarily, but yeah, I asked about that, but we really didn't have any complaints. But one of the comments was one of them would like to see that we instead of just sitting around the table, because we seem to get in groups where everybody's like a creature of habit. They sit in the same seat every night when they're eating. So the ones around us we're talking to. So this year we'll move it into around the fireplace a little more or something where everybody can kind of gather around for.
Lee and I vote on the bar.
We had a group around us the whole time at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think you're right. I noticed that too, and it's just a habit thing. It's not that anyone's antisocial. It's just everyone sits at the table, and it is kind of nice to hear how everyone's day was and how everyone did. And
and he said maybe bring up a topic every night or something that people ask questions about.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll do something like that. So
We're going to need a new couch.
that was good constructive
why is it
criticism.
wore out?
Define wore out.
You hear this? He's ragging on my couch. All right, I'm calling right now, getting a new couch.
Awesome.
Lee wants a new couch. Noted.
I need
think
a recliner too.
The couch is not made for short people, that's for sure.
No.
Carville had have a hard time on that one. His legs would be sticking out.
looked
Take
like
that, Joel.
He looked like a 5-year-old on it, wouldn't he?
Now, I wasn't going that far, but someone's got to send him a note to listen to this.
Yeah.
He didn't even do anything and we're ragging on him.
He's part of the team.
That's right. If you're part of this team, you better have thick skin.
How many seminars in Vermont are you doing?
How many did we do?
How many are you doing?
How many did we do?
How many did we do?
It's over now by the time everyone's listening to this.
Oh, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. Jesus.
Too many. No,
Too many?
I'm doing 2 a day, and then I think the other guys are doing a couple more. I don't know, per day, another one per day. I know Mark Shireen's doing one on guns, or did one on guns, and Timmy's doing one on something, filming, I think maybe him. I don't know. I read the schedule, but I've been busy trying to make mine up. I put together, like Chris does it for me, makes the PowerPoint, but I send him the pictures and the text I'd like to use. And this year I'm going to do one on still hunting too. There's been some requests about doing some still hunting stuff because everybody realizes we don't always have snow. So do the same ones at the Maine Sportsman Show in Augusta there the end of March.
I was going to mention that a minute ago, talking about weeks for hunting, and everyone loves the third week because there's the idea that there's always snow then, and it's good deer movement and everything, but it really is a crapshoot. The first week could be better than the third week a lot of years.
It was this year. The third week this year we walked on a stinking crust all week.
Yep.
The first week we had we got snow on Wednesday, and it was great snow the rest of the week. Not a lot, but it was enough, especially up high. And I mean, it was a good week. First week, it stayed cool, and
for sure.
Yeah, we got that snow, and it stayed powder, and then it got colder the second week. But yeah,
second week was really good. We had those real windy days.
Yeah, cold.
The last
windy.
day of the second week was an awesome day.
Yeah, Yeah. So I always, myself, I like the first week if there's snow. I mean, I like it anyway. If it's real warm, it kind of stinks, but first week is really kind of nice, you know. The bucks ain't really traveling that much, and, you know, they're out poking around, making some sign, and I always like the first week. So, yeah, they're all good. They're all good in a different way. If you want to shoot a heavy buck, you go the first week, right?
Exactly.
Where he loses weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, few openings. Anybody out there listening, want to come up and join us this fall? See if we can get you in.
I'm going to put out a shameless plug here too on the tires, because we've had some good conditions here for the last 2.5 months.
Oh, yeah.
Running them, and I'm still real happy with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can go in like two-wheel drive now on the snow where I couldn't before, you know.
Yeah, the
They seem to
Yokohamas
grab right in good.
are really good so far.
Geolander, MT, mud terrain, right? That means.
Yeah, I guess everyone doesn't want the mud train, but that's really the best tire for up here for what we do.
Yeah, all around, because you know we're dealing with the dirt and stuff all fall and whatever. But
About the Onyx, I used my Onyx last weekend in Canada, and it worked mint.
Yeah.
I was in a bad spot, and I had a snow bike with me, and he wasn't going back up that hill for nothing. And we ended up pulling him up out of there, but there was a road that we had to hit at the bottom, and if we missed it, we were going into Never Never Land. And that came right up clear as a bell on that Onyx, you know.
yeah, you can see
I
the
love
skid
that
trails.
thing.
You can see
Yep.
everything. One thing I did notice, because somebody asked me about it, you can get like the chips we got to put in by the state to put in your GPS too. So I put it in my dog collar GPS, you know, for coyote hunting. I put it in
yep.
that. It's a Garmin one. But anyways, those chips don't have the satellite imagery, and I couldn't figure out why, but I understand it now. It's too much data for it, you know, to have the whole state in satellite. So that was just something I didn't know, but I know now. But it is got a good topo feature. You know what I mean? You see the topo, and it names the roads. It's got all that in it. So I have that in my GPS, and then on the phone I use the download the satellite imagery on the app there. But
Yeah, that is. We're going to talk snowmobiling here for a second, Hal. So just don't get your panties in a wad. Your black panties in a wad. Your black stained panties in a wad. So we're always talking about hunting, and that's really where Onyx was, you know, has been targeted for. But for snowmobiling, it shows the snowmobile trails too. They have them all marked and named, and
they're more accurate than the stock ones that come on a Polaris.
yeah.
oh, no kidding.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I'm not even quite sure where they're getting their info from, because they change all the time.
Right.
So, but
You mean
wherever they are.
There's a GPS on the Polaris?
So you can buy that's $1,000 upgrade, and last I knew it was about 500 feet. So you'd be going down the trail, and it would show the trail was 500 feet to the left or right. You'd be like, "What the heck's going on?" But
I get it. Yep.
People figured it out. But that Onyx, I mean, that I just can't get over. I pulled that thing out the other day, and I said, "I wonder if that will come up." So I was at the camp. Before I left, sure enough, it came up. So I downloaded in the off-grid the area I was going to. Just did a 10 square mile loop, box.
So this is in Canada?
In Canada.
So it works there, too?
Absolutely. So I got up there, and I bailed into this spot, and I'm tooling around. I got hungry, so I stopped to eat and pulled that out and pushed the Onyx Hunt. Boom. There I am. I'm like, holy crap. And then I got looking around, because a lot of these areas up there you drop into and you really don't know where the bottom is, if there is any bottom. Most of them places you got to come back out the way you went in. And I got looking around, and gee, there's a road. Oh, there's a road. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it was
Nice.
neat. Yeah. And that little feature, you double click that icon and it shows you the direction you're going based on where you're pointing. I don't know how anybody could get lost with that thing in their pocket.
Yeah, I think Nick showed us that, right?
Yeah.
During deer season.
Yeah.
That's a nice little.
Oh, so you're directional. So wherever you're facing. Yeah. I have my dog tracker set up that way. So when I'm looking at the dog where the dogs are, it's showing you that's where you're looking.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be cheating for rabbit hunting, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it's actually cheating for coyote hunting too. You can see
There is no
anything
cheating
you got to
coyote
do.
hunting.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a good tool.
great tool.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of emails of support regarding the podcast. A lot of people that enjoy listening, and we really appreciate it. Everyone listening and
Yeah.
chiming in, and we love the feedback. If you get a chance, if you can go on iTunes, give us a rating there because that helps us out. So we're trying to listen to what you guys are asking for, and
Yeah, if you got any suggestions on topics or anything, you can email any of us, but if you want to email me, it's hal@bigwoodsbucks.com, and we'll try to get it in. And so sometimes we don't seem like it, but sometimes we're at a loss for words.
Well,
never.
we just get curbed on what we can talk about because
Yeah. We don't want to have Chris having to edit too much stuff out.
having
Oh.
to.
Having to.
Happen.
I had to define squoze yesterday. I'm like, well, it's a version of squeeze.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Someone was squozing you?
Yeah.
Squoze.
It's squeeze, and then squeeze is present tense, squoze is past tense.
Right.
You've done it.
Yep.
So that goes. Oh, I got one more thing before we wrap it up too. With getting back to the outfitting end of it, I'm gonna do 2 bear hunts this year, remote bear hunts. I'm gonna take 3 or 4 guys each week. It'll be the first and third week up in my remote camp, and so if anybody's got a group of 3 or 4 that wants to do that, you can get a hold of me about that too. Same email. I'm gonna do it. I got to adjust the price on the website because that was a meals and lodge. I think the way I'll do it in there is make it a little more economical for the guys is to bring your own food. You'll have the camp and all that and all the baits for the week.
American plan.
Yeah, do their own meat. No, American plans when somebody's cooking for them. They're going to do European plan. That means you bring your food, you cook it yourself,
really?
and then you hunt. And so I'll have I plan on like 10 bait sites, so 3 or 4 guys could have 10 baits to choose from, and then I'll set it out a week and do it the third week. And
You could do the Russian plan where you go through a line and they just take a bowl of slop and put it or would that be the Chinese plan?
try not
Maybe we're getting too political.
try not to over hunt my territory.
Yeah. Well, if it falls on April 8, 2024, you can charge 10 times the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't be bear hunting in April, but they can probably stay there. All right. Well, I guess it's time to wrap it up. Time's going quick here. We're having fun. Thanks for tuning in. Like Joe said, like us on Facebook and give us a review or rating on iTunes and all that good stuff. Till next time, good luck on the trail. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, good luck on the trail.